Wagwan everybody, welcome back to the Ladder Ja. I am Ja, and I'm here to take you on a journey back to self. And here, we're getting a little bit close, a little bit personal, a little bit grounded, and stuck in our foundation of who we came here to be. Today, we're going to get into what it means to balance the internal energies that exist within all of us. Every single human being, regardless of sex, gender, race, sexual orientation, etc. And those are the yin and the yang energies, the feminine and the masculine energy, and what it means to truly balance those two energies within yourself. To truly have true homeostasis and stability within those two energies, you have to know what each of those are, how each of those show up in your daily life, and how it even impacts you on a daily basis. To be in one or more of these energies more dominantly, it tends to lead to an instability within your life. If you are too much in your feminine energy, too much in the nurturing energy, the creative energy, the innovative energy, the internal energy, you tend to have a plan. You tend to be able to formulate these ideas. You tend to be very creative, very explorative, very nurturing, very tapped into your emotions. But if you're too much in that energy and you aren't tapping into your masculine energy, you don't know how to enact a plan. You don't know how to actually make things happen. And it's not to say that you don't know how to, but because you are predominantly in that feminine energy, you aren't making things happen, or it seems impossible to you. On the other hand, when you're too much in your masculine energy, you may be able to get things done, but it may be a little sporadic. It may be disorganized. You aren't as emotional. You aren't tapped in to your internal self, your creativity. You may not be able to come up with new ideas. You may not understand why it's so important to be emotionally aware. So you see what I mean? That it's important for us to be able to have that balance between the feminine and the masculine energy, because those energies are the two things that makes us us. And when we operate too much in one more than the other, that creates an instability within our internal environment. Now, as human beings, we do naturally operate in one predominantly over the other naturally, right? For a more masculine person, that person may operate more so on the masculine energy. But when it's time, they know how to tap into their feminine energy to be creative, to be nurturing, to be emotional. They know when it's time or how to tap into that side of them, because they are aware that that is a part of them as well. But you see, the society has created this stigma that women should only be in their feminine energy and men should only be within their masculine energy, and that you shouldn't have the other depending on who you are, because that wouldn't make you a man, it wouldn't make you a woman. But you see, the thing is, you have to balance the two energies from within yourself. Otherwise, you'll be depending on an outside source to be the other balancing force for you. Now, as a man, right, you will predominantly maybe operate in your masculine energy while still being able to balance your feminine energy within you. But because you operate primarily in your masculine energy, the person who you date may operate primarily in their feminine energy, but still is able to balance their masculine energy, but you balance each other out. That's where yin and yang comes from. Yin and yang, balancing each other out. But in order to have that balance on the outside, you have to have that balance on the inside. And when you have that instability internally, you will attract relationships that also have that instability. So, until you balance your yin and your yang, your masculine and your feminine energy, you may continue to attract those relationships that aren't of your highest good, that aren't aligned with who you mentally know you are, because your internal self is unstable. What's your mindset? Do you fully operate in your feminine energy? Are you in the receptive energy too much? Do you realize if you do operate too much in your feminine energy, that is a receptive energy? It's not giving. Some of you may have dated somebody who was a receiver in a bunch of ways, right? Who was a receiver, but not a giver. They wanted to take and take. And that may be because they operated primarily in their feminine energy. But you see, when you are with someone who is able to balance out the masculine energy, if they do predominantly operate in their feminine energy, they will also be a giver as well. So it is very important that we balance out these two sides of ourselves. Because when we want to attract someone who predominantly operates within the opposite thing of us, we have to balance ourselves first and stand firm in the energy we also operate in predominantly. We've been so socially constructed to believe that men should only be masculine or within their masculine energy, and women should only be within their feminine energy. And I'm not speaking on femininity and masculinity, because those are two subjects that were socially constructed. Those are two ideologies of what people believe a man should be or a woman should be, as I said. We are talking about energy. The energy that exists within you. That is what we're talking about. And that's why I love today's society in a lot of ways, because now you have men like me, right, who are able to more so express the emotional side, being able to come on and show the world through different platforms how we feel, what we think. That's feminine energy. Do you not understand that? Creativity, ideas, is feminine energy. In order to fully cultivate something, the feminine energy needs to create it, to innovate it, to bring it to life. And the masculine energy has to get it done. And you see, if you don't have those two things balanced within you, it could be the reason why you haven't done the thing that you said you were going to do. You formulated the idea. You didn't create the action, the masculine energy to follow it. I promise, when you start working on balancing the feminine and your masculine energy, you will start to see a lot more balance be projected back at you. Wow. Let's balance this out, because I still struggle with this. I struggle with still being able to balance both energies, because I predominantly do operate in one over the other, but I gotta know when it's time for the other one to show up and when I need to tap into it. And so do you. Figure out when you need to use one over the other. And that's the start of the process of building the balanced internal you. And remember, if you want to come and join an environment where you can fully be yourself, you can fully tap into those aspects of you that you may not be tapped into, come join me at the Holistic Light Room. Link down below. I'll see you there on Patreon. I'll see you guys next time.